Hello, it's Ryan from 2minutetennis.net, and in this video, I'm going to show you what you can learn from Bryan's forehand volley to help improve your forehand volley. First, this video is courtesy of Jorge Capistani. Thank you so much, Jorge, for allowing me to use this video. Just make sure that you are subscribed to his channel. I put his link in the description below. Incredible learning and pro content. So the first thing is you want to split step as your opponent is striking the ball. And really the timing, and I'll make a video soon here really illustrating this, but the proper timing on a split step is to actually be in the air as your opponent hits. So if we go to the split step here, here's that little hop. See him make that little hop? I can tell you without even seeing the person hitting the ball, that the person's hitting the ball now. That the pros are actually in the air when the opponent is striking the ball. They are not landing as the opponent hits, because then you're not synchronizing your brain's reaction time with when your feet will hit the ground. You actually want your eyes and your brain to react to where the ball is going with your feet hitting the ground. And since there's a delay in our reaction time, being in the air as your opponent hits is actually the right idea. The second idea is you want to set the racket at the height of contact. And so I want you to notice this. Let's go right to the contact here. So there's contact. Right there. I want you to notice where Bob sets his racket. He sets it right there. He sets the racket at the height of contact. I watch so many recreational, especially juniors, they'll put their racket up here when the ball is going to be coming right here. And then what happens is they're forced to chop down. Ball has a ton of backspin, and then the ball tends to go out. So rather than always chopping your volleys, and there is a time to put backspin on the ball, but we're not going to discuss that in this video. The idea is very simple. You want to set the racket where the ball is going to arrive. And this ball is going to arrive right here. So he's putting his racket where the ball is coming, right? You don't want to put the racket above the contact point or really below the contact point. You want to put the racket at the height of contact. So he turns and he sets the racket at the height of contact. Now he can move his racket forward into the ball. If we zoom in here, I don't know how well this will translate, but his ball has very slow backspin. And we'll try to look at this. Let's see if we can notice the ball spinning backward. We can actually see the writing on the ball. It's spinning quite slowly. Watch this again. Ball has just a little bit. It takes a while for it to really have a full rotation. So you don't want to be chopping your volley. Set the racket where the ball's going to be arriving. Now, when you do this, it's important that you set your hand below that point. See, I don't like to tell people to keep your racket up. Like, I don't like, keep your racket up, keep your racket up. What I tell people is keep your hand down. Right? Keep your hand down. His hand should not be at the height of contact. His hand needs to be below contact. You want your hand below contact with the racket at contact height. That gives you the proper angle between the arm and racket, because that wrist angle is the strongest wrist angle you can have. So you can handle the impact of the volley. And then you can see he moves his racket out toward the target. And he has his racket at the same height the whole time. Now, there is a deflection as the ball hits his racket. So the racket deflects a little bit, but he's trying to push through that. And you can see he's here finishing at the height he contacted. See, isn't that cool? He's not chopping down. We can actually use the net strap. There's the net strap. Most amateur players, they set up here and then they chop down. Not Bob here. Look at this. He's going to put the racket at the height of contact, and he keeps his racket above that yellow line. Kind of looks like a face. Right? Looks like a frog face. Okay, never mind. So the idea is really simple. Split step as your opponent strikes the ball. So be in the air as they hit. And then you can see he's landing on the front half of his foot. He's landing on the balls of his feet. Set the racket at the height of contact, which means if the contact's going to be up here, that's where you put your racket. Your racket would immediately move this way and then go out. If the contact is going to be down here, then move your racket here prior to the ball ever arriving to those points. And then move your racket. On the low volley, you move the racket slightly up. On the medium and high volleys, you move your racket forward. But set your racket at the height of contact with your hand lower than contact. That keeps the wrist angle intact. And then move your racket forward. It's okay to put a little backspin on the ball, but don't chop. Really, and typically in volleys, especially like medium volleys, the flatter you hit those balls, the better. And so if it has a little bit of rotation and rotates 4 or 5 or 6 times before it gets to the opponent, that's fine with backspin for a little control, and you can help slow the ball down. But don't chop your volleys. The more you add spin to the ball, the worse it's going to get. So if you use these volley strategies, there is no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.